Hi everyone, welcome back to Mad About Cards and Crafts. My name is Marla. Today I have quite a few cards to share. I have been busy here and I thought that I would share them so that I could start putting some of this stuff away. This first card was for the Paper Tray Ink Challenge, which was to use a die cut sentiment, or to use a sentiment as the center point, so your favorite sentiment. I have a limited supply of dyes and inks and everything here, so this is what I had on hand, and I used this lovely birthday from Paper Tray Ink to cut out the word from this cardstock, and then I colored it with Memento Angel Pink and inlaid it. The stamp set for the flowers, I used the Let's Fiesta, and sorry for the glare, but the Let's Fiesta, and I used these little floral pieces. And then I used Memento ink, which is what I have here, and so I used Angel Pink, Lilac Posies, Lulu Lavender, and Rosebud. This next card is a card that I made for the Color Throwdown Challenge. The colors that were in the challenge were green, red, and yellow. So I took this Whimsy stamp, the Penguin Gardener, and I used this this stamp and colored it with my Spectrum Noir markers. I used the Scallop Stackers Medium from Paper Tray Ink for this backdrop. I took the Hero Arts Infinity dies and cut out this rectangle and the smaller rectangle. The smaller one I edged with red ink. The ink that I used for that, for this right here was, I'm sorry, for this right here, the sentiment is the Memento Love Letter. And then for this backdrop, I stenciled using the Tim Holtz Shifter stencil, the diamond one, and I used that with Memento Pear and Memento Bamboo Leaves. This centerpiece I popped up with some craft foam, and that was my card for the Color Throwdown. My next card was one that I made when I first got here. So I have been in this sentiment stacking mood for whatever reason. It's something new to me. I used for this card the Honeybee Stamp Friendship die and stamp set. So I cut out the word friendship. I used my Nuvo crystal drops in, what is it? Right here. Simply White. These hearts came from the friendship die. They had that heart in there. So it says, I'm so grateful for friendship. Friendship is a blessing. Friendship means the world to me. And so that was just a cute little card that I made. This is actually leftover pattern paper that I happen to have here. Next, this is a card that I made for a Simon Says Stamp Challenge, which was Scene Builder. And I made this before I left, so I don't actually have the stamp set for it, but it's Gina K Design Springtime. And I colored the rabbit and the grass, which this is a lawn fawn die, and the flowers with my, all of the scene except for this back piece with my Copic markers. And then this back piece, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. There you go. You can see it a little bit. What I did is I stenciled with a Simon Says stamp stencil, and then I let it with deco foil, I think is what it's called, deco foil paste. And I let it set and dry, and once it was dry, I took some blue foil and ran it through my laminator to create this fun little sky in the background. So something a little bit different. And that was again for Simon Says Stamp Monday Challenge. This one right here, I am going to enter this into the Paper Tray Ink Challenge for this week. This week it's to use, the prompt is to use your favorite paper tray ink, 2 or more inks. I only happen to have 2 inks here. So I used the Autumn Rose and the Vintage Jadette. And again, I did some ink smooshing in the background, and then I took some sentiments and used the mini banner die that I showed not too long ago. Let's see if I can find this stuff. Yeah, here we go. So I use these paper tray ink dies, and I cut those out, and then I used a sentiment from this Expressions of Empathy set, and it says, you're going through this, and the I'm sorry also came from that as well. So I heat embossed that, and then these butterflies come from, they're the 2 smaller butterflies that are a part of this butterfly folk outline, so I use these 2. I heat embossed them on white paper, just like I did the sentiment. I used some more of the Nuvo Simply White crystal drops, and that will be my entry into the Paper Tray Ink Challenge for this week. This card right here was created for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday Challenge, and it was... oh no, this is the Simon Says Stamp Flicker Challenge. So it was spring, and what better way to say spring than a sundress? So I used my Stamping Bella stamp set, and it is the Walkabella right here. So I used her, and then I used a sentiment from this La La Land Crafts stamp set from the Herd, which says, Hello Chickie. These little swirls right here, I created those from the Paper Tray Ink Let's Fiesta stamp set, which is this one right here. So I took these and cut them out with my brother's Scan and Cut. And then to make the oval right here, I used my Hero Arts Infinity dies. I tell you, those are the best dies in the whole wide world. If you are looking for a good set of dies, they come in 1/8 inch increments. So I have some from other companies, and they come in, I think it's 1/2 inch increments, and sometimes it's just, you know, you need something in between, and these ones have been fitting the bill perfectly. So I cut that out. This background right here is a Simon Says stamp, which is Rebecca Lace. It's this beautiful background stamp. So I stamped the background using some Hero Arts neon ink. So it's real bright, that neon ink, and I put a piece of twine around here, put some Nuvo drops on the little swirls, popped up this background right here. This is, the background is Squeeze Lemonade Distress Ink. This is Copic colored. And that is my entry to the Simon Says Stamp Flicker Challenge. This card I just made for fun. This is actually from Power Poppy. the it's a digital stamp, and I have had this printed for a very long time. I recently purchased, I showed in my haul, some Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and this was the first project that I used to color with those markers. And then Have a Blooming Good Birthday will come from this Gina K Design Wealth of Wishes stamp set. And I colored it and popped both the sentiment and this full panel right here up on foam. This little card right here, this cute little piggy, comes from the herd from La La Land Crafts. I've actually cut out a few more of the little critters so that I can use them on a future project. I've been meaning to use this stamp set for quite some time. I took my, oh my goodness, my Prima Sweet Dreams watercolors, and I colored the background. Look at how pretty this is. I hope it shows up on camera. But it's super pretty, the colors are. And so I did the green, and I loosely colored the sky. The Hogs and Kisses come from that. This is an MFT fence. It's called Picket Fence, and I just doubled it up. I cut 2 of them and doubled it up to give it a little dimension. I popped the little piggy up on dimensional dots. This back is, the last piece is popped up on fun foam. I staggered the Hero Arts Infinity dies and made a really cute, clean and simple card. The pig is colored with my Spectrum Noir markers, but I just love this card. I think this card is adorable. All right, so my last card is for the Gina K Design Challenge, and it is a challenge to use florals. So I used a set that I don't believe I had used before, and this was the Gina K Design Hello Friends. It's a sweet little smaller stamp set, and I stamped them out and cut them with my brother's Scan and Cut, and then again that staggered sentiment in the 3 colors that I used on this frame. And I used Wealth of Wishes, so the sentiment is wishing you a lifetime of love. That's also from Gina K Design. I cut this frame out. It's a cat scrappiness frame, and I can never remember the name of it. I want to say it's Distressed Rectangle, something like that. I cut it out. I had actually taken the whole panel and ink blended with the Distress ink in Abandoned Coral and the, just a second, Wild Honey and Spiced Marmalade. So Abandoned Coral, Wild Honey, and Spiced Marmalade. And then I colored it with my Spectrum Noir markers. I stamped the sentiments in those same ink colors, and then I popped everything up on some foam dots. And that is my entry into the Gina K Design March Challenge. I have been really fortunate. I have won the last 2 challenges in a row, so that's very exciting. I don't think I'm going to win again. Gosh, they just can't pick me 3 times in a row, but I still love her challenges. I love her products, and so this is my entry for this month. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, hit subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.